Hello and welcome to the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball Show, brought to you by Gameface. I'm Aidan Miller, and once again alongside me in the studio, Steph Barkis. Good afternoon, Steph.
Good afternoon, Aidan. I'm always excited to be a part of this show, but particularly this week because of the games that we witnessed on Saturday.
Most certainly was a cracking match of the round once again, and looking forward to plenty more action coming up in this episode.
Well, it's hard to believe we are already at episode 7, and of course this week we will have ones to watch and highlight some more top performers across our competition.
We'll bring you all the latest news across the competition.
We have a match of the round preview for round 6 this week, Emerald versus Officer.
Matchday interviews from the weekend with Yea's Ben Sandells and Belgrave's Liam Pemberton and Chris Westcott.
And Warburton Wesburn young gun Scarlett Henderson is in the studio today. And of course, a massive thank you to Pedders Suspension and Breaks, partner of the Outer East Football Netball Show. Okay, well, we have plenty of news for you this week, but first and foremost, we wanted to congratulate Alex Woods, who is our winner for April Community Photo of the Month. You can check out more of Alex's work on her Instagram at @byalexport.
Nominations for Volunteers of the Month, Coaches of the Month and Community Photo of the Month for May are now open. Visit our website for social media to nominate or enter.
For any avoidance of doubt, if you are looking for match replays, you can find them on localfootyhub.com.au or by downloading the app. You do have to have an account for Local Footy Hub to access replays, but you don't need to subscribe. All the replays are free. So when you sign up for an account, you also have access to watch our Match of the Round games, but then those who do choose to subscribe will have access to the additional senior football live stream game, as well as access to player and team stats.
We'll now go through some club development updates. Firstly, the Telstra Footy Country Grand Round 3 closes May 25.
TAC Club Rewards will be launching in June, so keep an eye out. There'll be some funding available there.
The Toyota Good for Footy raffle, the clubs that did it last year are auto-registered for this year, and other clubs can sign up. The full amount of tickets sold by the club will be retained.
Yeah, which is an awesome one. And the container deposit scheme as well. So clubs can activate as donation partners and earn money back from depositing recyclable cans and bottles. So proactive clubs have earned the value of a major sponsor doing this.
Pillar goalpost subsidy, funding toward new goalpost pads.
Club health checks. Thank you so much to the 13 clubs that have already done their club health checks. And if you submit yours by June 9th, you do go into the draw for a prize valued at over 4K. So make sure you get them in before the 9th.
Also, a shout out to Emerald, who are now our 12th chartered club in the competition.
So for any assistance or more information on any of the above initiatives that we've mentioned, you can reach out to Brendan at development@outereastfn.com.au. All right, time for everyone's favourite segment, Ones to Watch. We're going to start off with Annalise Carroll from Belgrave, who we saw on the weekend.
We most certainly did, and it was a really strong performance. Started at wing attack before she moved into the centre for the rest of the game, and was really quite influential, particularly in the second half when Belgrave really started to regain some ascendancy after probably trailing for most of the first half. So I was really impressed with her performance.
Absolutely. We also wanted to take a look at Blake Seeley from Yea. So despite their 1-point loss, he had an incredible game. 19 disposals, 11 of those were contested possessions, 5 were intercept possessions, 18 hitouts in the ruck, 4 score involvements and 1 goal. Absolutely massive from Blake on the weekend.
The last one from women's footy was Neve Hunter-Clear from Upwey Tacoma, playing off the halfback flank for this season. She's already made 2 Team of the Week appearances, and she's been listed the best players in all 4 games that they've played.
I wanted to also add in a little bit of a quote. I spoke to her captain, Alex Bantock from Upwey Tacoma, and she described Neve as a young gun who is both speedy and a huge kick, but can also take a big mark across half-back. Her biggest contribution to our team is that she brings a sense of confidence to that back line. So that's a pretty big rap from the captain
Most
there.
certainly.
Time now for our Yarra Valley Water Juniors Corner, and our player of the week is Rylan from the Yarra Junction Eagles Junior Football Club. He was solid in defence, repelling attack after attack, and when he went into the midfield, he gave his team lots of opportunities, and then even when he was in the midfield, he still got back and helped his team in defence. So well done, Rylan, great game.
Also, congratulations to all the players on your screen right now for being selected to represent Outer East at the Netball Victoria Association Championships on June the 1st. Thank you also to Anita Woods from Warburton Belgrave and Alex Bergerman from Seville, who will be coaching our squads.
Time now to review our matches of the round from the weekend just gone. Let's reflect on our tips. We both got 1 of 2, both picking Belgrave for the netball, but we both picked Yea for the footy. In our defence, obviously the footy was an incredibly close match, so was the netball. But yeah, how did you find the footy on the weekend?
Really, really tight contest. It was pretty close all day. Yea sort of looked like late in the third quarter as if they may have had it. They did lead, I think, by as much as 21 points. Belgrave were able to come back. Wasn't probably the most disciplined game, but a little bit scrappy. A lot of free kicks. We might have even seen double digits the amount of 25-metre penalties that were paid. There was certainly a lot of feeling in the game. I felt like the big difference, and we did interview this guy, Chris Westcott, was unbelievable. I reckon he would have had to have had double digits in the intercept marks. So if Premier Data reckons otherwise, then I think there's a few questions that need to be asked there. But he was absolutely brilliant. And I think Yea certainly did a much better job in the second half of probably negating his influence. I think they were bombing it in long and kicking it to his advantage. They probably worked it out a bit more in the second half, and they were able to score a bit more in the third quarter, which freed them up a little bit more. But then Belgrave, again, were just able to rally in the last quarter. Were a little bit inaccurate, but they were ultimately able to overcome that and take away a 1-point victory. So it was an incredible game.
Well, before the football, I did get the chance to catch up with Ben Sandells from Yea, who had an incredible game. Also Liam Pemberton from Belgrave, who was back from injury. Obviously the captain, they were definitely missing him, and also had an incredible game. So let's take a look at those interviews. I'm here with Ben Sandells from Yea. They're about to play against Belgrave. How are you feeling going into today's match?
We're feeling pretty energetic about today, to be honest. We haven't started the best this season. Travelling away for most of the Yea boys is a decent trip down the highway, so we're all looking forward to getting stuck in again. Yeah, beautiful. And the last time you came up against Belgrave was, of course, round 18 last year, where you were playing for that final spot. Didn't quite get the job done, but what have you learned from that game that you want to implement today? We learned a few things. We learned how to play on this ground. Obviously, Yea is a much bigger ground than this, so we're going to change our style a bit today. We had a few takeaways as well. Some of their players we really played into the hands of, so yeah, if we can try and null their impact, that'll be good.
And you do have a top 5 spot at the moment, and a win today might help sort of solidify that this early in the season. So how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, obviously we're just going 1 week at a time, as everyone says at this stage. Still very early in the season, but it looks like it's going to be a very close competition this year.
And for you personally, what do you want to get out of today? What are some of your aims?
Me personally, just want to try and keep doing what I'm doing, just applying pressure up there. Might be a bit easier on a small ground, don't have to cover as much of it, and try and hit the scoreboard.
Yeah, perfect. All right, well, Ben, thank you so much for your time, and good luck for today.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'm here today with Belgrave captain Liam Pemberton. Now, Pember's first game back after a while, injured earlier in the season. How are you feeling?
Yeah, ready to go. Really looking forward to today. So it's going to be good to get back out there with the boys. So.
Great. Well, last time you did play Yea, it was a finals do or die situation. You guys win, you go through. It was a bit of a fairy tale story. So what did you kind of learn from that game that you want to bring into today's as well?
Yeah, no, it was a great game, and great to have the club getting to finals for the first time since 2017. So from there, it was just pretty much we're going to try and attack as much as possible on our ground. We've got a small ground, and we're going to try and use advantage of it. So it's going to be a big emphasis, try and really attack and see what we can do from there.
Now, I've heard it's your 50th game.
Yes, correct? It is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What have you got? Have you got any plans for celebrating? You got a banner or anything like that going on today?
No, I've had a few people ask me, and there's absolutely no chance of getting a banner for 50. So we'll wait until we get to 100. So it might be another 5 years, but we'll see how we go. So.
Fair enough. And last one for you. Unfortunately, you guys have had quite a few injuries going into the season, but you were talking earlier about how you've got a young team. You've still got some belief there. So tell us a bit about the start of your season.
Yeah, so it's been a rough one. I think first round we ended up having 5 or 6 injuries, and big ones too, including poor Dutchy that got his leg broken in 2. So hopefully, and best wishes to Dutchy especially, because he's a big part of the team that's unfortunately we're missing. But what we've got is some great youth. We got very lucky to get a few boys from Upway Tacoma that have come down, and they've all just ended up joining arms and coming on down, and they're absolutely loving it, making the place feel very, very good, and it's really exciting. So we've got this youth, and hopefully we can just use it and bring this club back to where we want.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck for today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting interviews there. Both teams went in with a lot of confidence, and I think in the second half they both definitely made a lot of changes and performed a lot better, a lot less frantic, I would say, a lot less turnovers, more scoring as we discussed. But yeah, probably the best match of the round of the year so far.
Hard to go past. It was only 1 point the difference. The netball also really close as well. Was only 3 goals the difference in that game. Bit more seesawing this one as well. That really did kind of swing. It was hard to pick all day. Yea probably had the ascendancy in the first half, and defensively they were was so good. They really set up quite well, and I reckon there was at least about 3 or 4 times there when Belgrave were called for holding the ball for more than 3 seconds because they just didn't know where to go because Yea were really setting them up quite well. But I think Belgrave must have had a couple of discussions at half time because they really managed to weave their way through and were able to score a bit more freely in the second half. They did manage to get out to about a 6-goal lead, I think, in the third quarter. Yea were able to trim it back. But yeah, Belgrave ultimately just a little bit too strong. And it was an important game for both teams because neither side had a win going into it. So Belgrave did get off the mark. Yea, unfortunately, stay winless, but it was also a pretty tight game like the footy.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned earlier, so much feeling in both games. And we were talking about this. We do feel like this is now a modern day rivalry in our competition between these two sides.
Given the history of last year, I think, it will definitely stem later on in the season as well. And it might be a bit similar to last year, given where both teams are in terms of wins and losses. It might be another sort of game where it decides potentially who gets a final spot and who doesn't. But still plenty of football to be played and plenty of netball to be played later on in the season. So we will find out. But for now, yep, it was a very interesting game.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into our match of the round preview for this week.
This match of the round is high stakes. We've seen it so often. 2 teams on equal footing needing to win. A win today gives one club a bit of breathing room. Forget about the matchups of the past. The only thing we care about is the history that will be created this weekend. What story will be told? It's the Rochford Match of the Round.
All right, so this week we do have Emerald versus Officer.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the footy first of all. These two sides haven't played in almost a year. The last time they did play was round 7 of last year. Officer won that game at a bit of a nail biter by 3 points, 6-12-48 to 6-9-45 was the score for that game. Going into it this year, both teams are currently last and second last, both at a 1-4 record. So it is really important for both teams to get a win here. Probably in particular Emerald because their percentage is definitely a little bit lower than Officers. I think if Officer win, they've got plenty of breathing room. Emerald have got a little bit of breathing room. But either way, it is important just to get a win, get off the bottom of the ladder. You don't want to get relegated, obviously. Looking at some of the key matchups for Emerald, Ewan Wadsworth is averaging 32 disposals a game and Jake Pedders averaging 26 a game through their midfield, and they'll be likely matched up against players such as Brody Snooks and Ryan Hutton, who are averaging 27 and 25 respectively. Going down both ends of the ground, Luke Spalding likely going head-to-head with Mark Seedsman, who was Officers' leading goal scorer for season 2025, and David Johnson will likely find himself matched up on Josh Westra.
Very interesting, and I am interested to see how Luke Spalding has fit in with his new club. He was obviously a standout at Yarra Junction last year, made team of the year, so yeah, that's definitely one to watch.
I imagine pretty well. He's obviously got a few of his former Yarra Junction teammates there in Ewan Wadsworth, Dave Johnson, obviously a couple of years ago, so I think he'll be fitting in fine. Heading across to the netball, obviously, just like the footy, the last time these two teams did play was round 7 last year. Emerald won that game pretty comfortably by 25 goals, 69-44 was the final score. Currently at the moment, Emerald are 4th on the ladder, Rock are 6th. The win-loss record is 3-2 for Emerald, 2-3 for Rock, so it's relatively close. So pretty important game, this one. Emerald looking to try and probably get back up into that top 3, which is obviously, where you're in that double chance sort of territory for finals, so important for them to win. Rock are looking to try and sneak into the top 5. If Woori Alec lose, and there is an opportunity for them to go in and potentially be looking at a finals berth for this year. Some of the head-to-head matchups, I imagine Jay Maguire probably goes head-to-head with the Emerald captain, Mac Fox. Brody Smith will probably go head-to-head on Izzy O'Shannessy, who's the leading goal scorer for Rock. And then imagine through the mid-court, Ella James head-to-head with the experience of Krista Tomlinson.
So I would say probably, again, another 2 high-stakes games this weekend.
Different sort of situations, but no, most certainly.
Okay, let's get into our tips then. We'll start off with the footy. Who are you going to go with?
Emerald's home game, but I think I'm just going to side with Officer, I reckon.
Okay, I'm going to go Emerald for the footy, but I'm going to go the flip side for the netball. I think Rock are going to upset Emerald. I know that Emerald's probably the more popular choice. They do have one more win, but I'm just feeling an upset.
I'm going to go with Emerald for the netball. And a couple of weeks ago, I said that I felt like Monbulk might be a prelim finalist this year. I'm actually going to change that. I think Emerald are going to go deep this year. I think they've shown the last couple of weeks. They went down reasonably comfortably to Mount Evelyn last week, but mind you, Wandon, who were second, did also go down comfortably, and they went very, very close with Wandon 2 weeks ago. So I'm actually going to swap that around. So I do think Emerald are going to win, and I think Emerald are potentially the one who might cause an upset against a Mount Evelyn or a Wandon. So
there you go. Massive wrap there. Very interesting. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Well, we are trying something new this week. We wanted to put it out to our community to see what they think the results of our matchups will be this weekend. So let's take a look at community predictions. First and foremost, the senior football match of the round between Emerald and Officer. The A-grade netball match of the round between Emerald and Rock. The women's football filmed match this weekend between Wandon and Thornton Eildon. And last but not least, a local footy hub senior football live stream, Mount Evelyn and Alinda Ferny Creek.
Since 1950, Pedders have understood that every customer's journey is different, but our solution remains the same, to get you where you want to go as safely as possible. We believe it's not just the destination that matters, but also the journey, and we are committed to creating better journeys for everyone.
After the match of the round, we did have a chat with Belgrave's Chris Westcott after their thrilling 1-point win over Yea.
Well, I'm joined by Chris Westcott after Belgrave's thrilling round 5 victory over Yea. Chris, you must feel so happy with that performance, coming away with your first win of the season.
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, going to the game 0-4. Really needed this win for a bit of morale. Like, we've had a lot of injuries. It's really just good to get one on the board.
Yep. Chris, we noticed a bit of feeling out there today. Do you feel like you've built a bit of a rivalry and a bit of intensity against Yea, because it was quite a physical one?
Yeah, obviously, last year they beat us the first time at their deck. Then we've come back here and beat them to pretty much make finals. It's just really good to get one today as well and get it over them, because just probably at the end of the year they're going to be a similar spot to us.
Yep. What were some of the messages coming into today's game?
Oh, just morale, get around each other, because we got smashed last week. So going into this week and just getting a bit of camaraderie, getting around each other. We had a few debuts today, so getting around the younger blokes and just having fun and getting out there and just producing footy that we know we can.
Yep. Speaking of some of those debutants, it's no secret that you have had a pretty rotten run with injury. How important was it getting some of those guys into the team, and how did you feel they impacted the game?
Yeah, obviously we've got a few younger 19 blokes that we got from Upway earlier the year, and they've given a lot. In previous years we probably haven't had that youth when we've had a few injuries coming through. So they bring a lot. Just can't explain it. They're just real big for the club.
You had a terrific game today, mate. You had so many intercept marks, contested and uncontested. How did you feel you went?
Yeah, I mean it was perfect conditions today, so it was good to clunk a few. Obviously got a few out the back, nice and playing spare. Credit to the teammates that allow me and the coach to allow me trust in me and take those marks.
Yep. One of the players you did get back today was Liam Pemberton, and it really seemed like he was quite influential in that last quarter as well as yourself. How important was it having the skipper back out there?
Oh, I mean, he's huge. He's the voice of this club. He gets everyone up and about. Probably one of the best clubmen I know. Great person. So getting him into the midfield today and just giving a bit of morale for everyone, I think went a long way. Yeah.
How important was winning today, just for the belief of the side?
Oh, it was huge. Last couple of years we've started well, so it's a bit of a shell shock coming into this week. Being 0-4, so this week was everything for us. Win here, hopefully go into the next 3 games, win those, and midway through the year we're 4-4.
Yep. Chris, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Last but certainly not least, it is week 3 of our Young Gun series, highlighting some up-and-comers in our competition, and this week's guest in studio is Scarlett Henderson from Warburton Wesburn. All right, well, I am here with Scarlett Henderson from Warburton Wesburn. Scarlett, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no worries. We're excited to have you. Firstly, before we get into everything this season, I wanted to talk to you about last season. So due to injury, you only played 9 games, but in those 9 games, you kicked 25 goals. You were listed in the best players for 6 of those 9 games and won a premiership. What are some of the highlights from last year?
Just being able to play at Mumboldt, because I've grown up around the club, and we had a bit of trouble getting up and under 18s teams, so we merged a bit with Emerald. So finally being able to play at Mumboldt in Mumboldt jerseys, singing the Mumboldt song, that was just really great to get back into that community and just be with like my family or my cousins, my brother. Like that was just really great. And the whole community at Mumboldt just amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, unfortunately, Mumboldt were unable to field a women's team this year. So you have moved to Warburton Wesburn for 2025. Out of all the clubs, what was the reason that you chose Warby as your new home?
Well, at the start, it was very difficult. I had a lot of clubs. And then it actually, I think, our coach, or Warburton coach Pui, he reached out to Sasha, my coach at Mumbolk, and I think asked for my number or something like that. And then I got contacted by Pui and actually by Emerson Woods, our captain as well. Right. So that was just amazing having, I just felt like, and I didn't feel any pressure or anything. They weren't like, come to Warburton. It was just really nice, really welcoming. And I told them I have my cousin, Ruby Ross. Right. Me and her, a bit of a package deal. So I told them wherever I go, Ruby will come with me. So me and Ruby went and did a bit of a trial training session at Warby, and it was just amazing. Just everything, that all the girls were so welcoming. The quality of football was just amazing, and just like how seriously they take football. Yes. But then they still have that good balance of fun and enjoyment. So that was really great. And yeah, I think I went to an Emerald training after that, and I was just like, oh, it's Warby for me all the way. Okay, so you felt really at home there pretty much instantly. Instantly after it, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should go try out any others. It's pretty much set. Yeah, fair enough. Can you tell us about some of your mentors at the club and how they've supported you and your transition, whether that was from Mumbolk transitioning to Warby or whether it's people at Warby? You mentioned Emerson Woods. Yeah, definitely. Just Emerson, Gabby, just all of the girls really in the whole team. They made an effort. I think Rachel, our coach's wife, I think she's one of our captains as well. I remember our first training session, we just stepped out of the car and she came sprinting over, gave us a big hug, and she was squealing and she was so excited. So it definitely made it really easy. My coach at Mumbolk, Sash, gave me a few phone calls and was talking me through different clubs and stuff. And even he was pretty much like, please go to Warby, they're a really wonderful club. So he was really supportive, and he's been to a few of my games this year. Oh, that's nice. So he's really supportive, and he just cares about me, doesn't really care about my footballness. He just honestly cares about me. And it's been really nice having him support me, and even being at a new club and he's still supporting me. So it's really, really wonderful. Yeah, well, we had a lot of praise for him last year. He was one of our coaches of the month, and for that reason, a lot of people said he cares about you as a person, not just as a footballer. So yeah, that was very strong messaging. I want to move on to this season now, and you have kicked 18 goals in just 4 games so far this year. So I was wondering if there's a personal goal in mind for you as to how many you might want to kick this season. Do you have that in mind when you're out there? I'd love to get to 50, 80, 100, or is it more just focusing on the game in that moment? It honestly depends on how the game's going. Usually it's just my main focus. I just stress so much just to get one goal. And then once I get one goal, I kind of feel that relief. I'm like, okay, I can chill out now. I feel like I've fulfilled a bit of my role as a forward. So then I relax and I can start to just flow better. There's been a few times, so I think I started, my record was 4 and then it grew to 5 and then I went, officer last year went to 6 and then officer this year went to 8. So I feel like if I get around to that mark, then it's just beat my record. Other than that, it's really just just kick a few goals every game and I'm set. I don't really have an end goal of how many I want to kick, but just as long as I'm being persistent. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good answer. You just want to perform your role for the team. Yeah. I get that. All right, well, having had finals and grand final experience last season at Mumbolk, and then with Warby Wes having an incredibly strong start to this season and looking on track to make finals, what do you feel like you learned last year from that sort of finals experience that you would bring to the team this year? Oh, if I'm being totally honest, our finals last year was probably some of the worst games of football that I've been a part of. It was just, especially we versed Wooriallic, and I think our sides just clashed, and it was just not a very good game to be a part of. It was just so messy. But I think really kind of relaxing beforehand, not really letting the nerves get to you, really keeping composure as a team and slowing it down, not rushing it, because you're like, oh my God, quick, grand final, go, get in front. Absolutely. So I think just, remembering what we're actually here for, what we're trying to do, and
Just taking a breath, taking a step back and just trying to relax into it and enjoy it as much as you can.
Like not forget what we've done all year just because it's one important game. You don't want to throw away everything we've worked hard for, like all our strategies and stuff like that.
Totally. And it is tough. Nerves can get the best of you, especially when there is pressure on what is such a big game.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're working on in your own game and want to improve on this season?
Definitely my aim.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. So last game and with Seville, there was a lot of unnecessary points on my behalf. So definitely, because a lot of my game is like my speed. I really try to use that in my games. However, if I like get a mark or stuff, sometimes I can just rush it and then I just miss really easy goals and then I'll kick myself afterwards. So I'm really just trying to slow it down, think before I do, and not do stupid things. Like a few times I'm really trying to also focus on my handballing. Yep. Because sometimes I used to just tend to just boot it into the forward line and stuff. But just not doing U-turns, handballing it to the option out the back. Just really trying to be smarter with my footy and like slow it down and not rush it so I'm not making those really annoying, stupid mistakes.
I think that's a great goal though. That's an awesome goal. I mean, I think you're already a strong player and you do have like a lot of career left. So I think that's a really good aim and I think you're only going to get better. Is there a player, whether that is at Warburton, Wesburn, AFLW level or otherwise, that inspires you and a style of play that you'd like to emulate?
Oh, there's a few. As a kid growing up, my favourite player has always been Sirioli, and I really try to just connect like how he uses his speed and agility to like move the ball around. So I really like his style of football that he played. Emerson Wood's another one. She's just crazy good. Even her sister Gabby, just that whole family, crazy good. So I really like to draw inspiration from her and how she like sees the ground and how she connects to different players. Maddie Ward as well, like as soon as I rocked up to the club in our first game, I just kind of got that connection with her on the ground and we just used those link ups and like using our voice together. So it's been really fun working with her on the field. My brother, Will, he plays for Mumbolk. He's really, I don't know how to explain it. He's really calm with the ball. Kind of reminds me of a bit of James Sicily. I'm a Hawthorn fan, you can tell. But just how he like gets the ball, he can take his time. He just looks so relaxed when he's kicking. Doesn't matter how many players are on him. Just relaxed, kicks the ball with like all his composure and stuff. So I think once again with slowing the ball down, I really want to work on that. So I think I really look towards those sort of players who are a lot smarter with the ball and not tend to rush it and stuff.
Calm under pressure, yeah. I feel like that's a tough skill. Like it's one that you really do have to work on, right?
Yeah.
And realising that you maybe sometimes have more time than you think you have. All right, well, what does the long term look like for you? Is there anything you want to achieve or milestones you'd like to hit in, say, the next 5 years?
I don't really plan that sort of stuff out. I know I've done a few tries with Eastern Rangers and it really wasn't for me. I didn't like I get how serious it is, but it just wasn't for me. I like bush roots, country footy. But if I get like, I don't know, I've seen a few people go into VFLW from just playing in your clubs and stuff. So if I get that opportunity, I'd probably take it. But for now, I just really love club footy and like just the country club footy, especially Warburton. They're just so, I don't know how to explain it. Like the fire in the club rooms, it's just amazing. So I just really love playing community football. So I don't really have any plans, but like I'm always open to opportunities. But.
Well, I can just by the way you're talking about it, I can hear how like passionate you are and how much you enjoy it there just from the way you speak about it. So, you know, playing at club level and having a really great career there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Well, Scarlett, thank you so much for being here. This was awesome to chat to you. I feel like we've got some great insights and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Well, that pretty much wraps up all there is to talk about on the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball show this week. Remember, if you'd like to see anything in the show, make sure you leave a comment down below. Steph, thank you again for joining me in the studio.
No problems at all. Thanks for having me.
For all the viewers out there, don't forget to get your game face on.